Hey y'all, my name is Terena and I'm here to tell you about concert photography. So I started shooting concerts about a year ago. Just recently passed a year since I got my first photo pass, July 15th I think. And I post a lot on TikTok. A few videos did good and I got a bunch of comments just asking here, let me see. So teach me your ways. How do I get into this, please? Tell me about concert photography. How did you start out? I need guidance. Just how do you get into this? I try to photograph concerts, but I never get responses. That's a big thing. And then I got a few DMs as well. And I posted a video on TikTok about my journey, but I just wanted to go more into detail about how you can get started. And I thought I could just point everyone to this video. Just to preface, I am not an expert. I'm still learning every day, but a year ago today, I was at the same place as probably some of the people commenting. I was just scouring the internet, figuring out how to do this, searching up YouTube videos, DMing photographers, going on Reddit, all that stuff. And although I don't know everything, I feel like I know a lot more than I did a year ago. So yeah, just gonna some tips, advice, and hopefully this will help someone. Okay, so getting right into this, the first step you want to do is build a portfolio. This can be done in more than one way. The way that I did it was the city that I live in has these free concerts over the summer. It's outdoors, and I just brought my camera and started taking pictures. And the lighting wasn't the best. It's not going to be the same as in the venues, but I feel like I got a few good photos out of that, and I learned how to maneuver in dark lighting, got the hang of the settings because it had been a while since I was taking photos. I hadn't taken in a year or two, and before that I didn't know too much about settings either. So getting back into that, getting back into the editing, that was very helpful because I was definitely too scared to just start at a venue right away, which is the next thing you can do. So there are a ton of small bands who just want photos because they might not be able to afford to hire a photographer. So you can search up small bands in your area on Instagram. If they have an email or management, you can email them or you can DM them. Say something like, hey, I'm trying to build my portfolio. I was wondering if I could get a photo pass and ticket to your show just so I can build my portfolio, and I'll send you the photos so you can post. I would recommend bands under 10K. Also, I say bands, but just any artists. Maybe under 10K followers on Instagram, that will be more likely. Honestly, even some under 1K, that would be way more likely as well. So yeah, that's option 2, is just going right away to the venue, contacting the artists on your own. Another way is, I know people do it at their churches when they have live music. So yeah, just any live music that you find that you are allowed to bring your camera in. And then another thing is you can bring a point and shoot to venues as a fan. So you don't need a photo pass for that, but a lot of people practice that way, is just bringing a point and shoot camera without a detachable lens into the venues. Just go as close as you can, getting there early, getting on the barricade, and just taking pictures. If you have a really good zoom, that would work too, just anywhere in the crowd. And honestly, crowd photos are great. You only get the first 3 songs usually when you are shooting, and then the rest is from the crowd. So honestly, that's a great way to start. I also took a lot of photos just on my phone when I was on the barricade, and that's how I actually got into concert photography, was just take them on my phone and edit them. And that just got me so excited, and that's when I wanted to actually start with the camera. Now, once you've built a portfolio, I would say start posting your photos. So make a website. I used Wix. It was a little bit difficult to start at first, but once I got the hang of it, it was actually a lot of fun. Just putting your photos out there. Social media is a big thing. Instagram. That's when you follow all the bands, you start posting your photos, you start tagging them, they'll start reposting them, and that's how you start getting your name out there. So now you have the portfolio, you started posting your work. If you weren't DMing and contacting and emailing the bands before on your own, I would say this is the next step that you should do. That's what I did. For me, I had built my portfolio, started posting it. I contacted my first band. It was a cover band, small band, a few hundred followers on Instagram, but they were local in the area, and I got my first photo pass to the House of Blues. Another local band from Dallas or Austin, I think, I contacted them, got another photo pass like 1 month later, I think. I was doing that and contacting a lot of other bands, getting no responses because they were bigger bands. And that's where step 4 comes in. Step 4, one of the biggest things, start shooting bigger shows, is getting with a publication. A publication is like a blog. They have a website where they post show coverage. This can be like a gallery or a show review, sometimes both. Sometimes they post just about local businesses. You can find these publications on Instagram. There are just so many. They don't need to be famous or anything. And when I say big shows, a lot of them aren't like stadium shows like Taylor Swift, stuff like that, but they are relatively bigger artists versus the artists under 10K, like I was saying. Start looking for publications on Instagram. Towards the end of the month, I was just, after my college apps were over, it was like another set of applications. I was just applying to so many, 10 or 15, no responses from any of them. And then I started seeing things that were like, if you are applying as a photographer, you need to know how to write. You should apply as a writer as well, and that will make your chances higher. And so that's when I learned that writing is a big part of concert photography when you're first starting out, because they want to see show reviews along with your galleries. So what I did was, the show that I shot, it was Nightcap in West 22nd, the second show that I shot on my own. I wrote up just a little review. I searched up examples, and yeah, it didn't take very long. It was like a quick summary of the show, just things I remember. Put that on my website. And sometimes they ask for examples of writing. Just knowing how to write well or just decently is a big thing in showing that you can when you're applying. If you're not getting a lot of luck, I would start applying as a photographer and a writer as well. A lot of publications don't do just gallery posts. They want a write-up. They're not an essay. It's like at least 300 words, honestly sometimes less than 300. So yeah, just knowing how to write decently is a big part of this. At the time, I think it was towards the end of the year, I don't think a lot of publications were necessarily looking for contributors when I was applying. So I think that added to the bad luck of that, because once the new year started, I was seeing a lot more publications posting that they were looking for contributors, and then I also heard back from ones that I hadn't heard back from before. But thankfully, December of 2023 is when I got accepted to Off Record Media. And then after that, things just started taking off. I got the Moss, Flip Turn, Briston Maroney. That one was actually through a different publication. It was just one that I could request. I didn't have to actually be a part of the team. Through the school year, just doing a few more shows. Recently, Cage the Elephant. That was also through a different publication that I joined later on. Because another thing with publications is there's a whole team, right, of photographers. Only one person can get one artist on that tour. So like, let's say Steven Sanchez is touring and someone from the publication already wrote down the request to shoot Steven Sanchez. Then I can't come and ask to shoot him as well through that publication. But if there's another publication and someone hasn't already claimed that artist on that tour, then I can. So that's what I did with Cage the Elephant, because it was already taken with Off Record. So then I requested it through 777. The perks of a publication is that they're going to have the artist's contacts a lot easier, and also if they promise that they are going to publish the photos along with a review, something like that, it helps promote the artist as well. And that's what the management, or like publicity, that's what they're looking for, is to promote the artist. And sometimes they even ask for the link sent to the team, stuff like that. Sometimes ask for the photos. So overall, a publication is just a great way to have your name out there and to have your photos published, because I've gotten emails about asking to write stuff for an artist or also shoot, and that's where they see your name and figure out who you are. Figure out your portfolio, start posting your stuff, learn how to write a show review. A publication is the most important thing. And yeah, that's basically all it takes to shooting concerts. You are gonna get a lot of no's, a lot of no responses, but the more you do it, the more you get used to it, the more yeses you're gonna get. And yeah, that's my advice. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped at least one person, answered some questions. I'll definitely hope to make more videos about concerts and stuff like that in the future. So yeah, I will see you next time.